sharing our process today, which is a really cool copper transformation with some color blocking. I wanted to invite my YouTube community to come over and follow my Instagram page. It's my personal industry focused page, and we will link it below and we'll pop it on the screen as well. I'd love to see you there, get to know you a little bit more and share more of my day-to-day. You might be following Blush Girl Salon, which is a page that I started 8 years ago to grow our business and connect with our client. So I'd love you to stay there as well. I know it's a lot of pages to follow, so you know, do whatever works for you, but I just wanted to let you know that I am going to be there more often, so I will see you there if you're interested. We need to like really heavily line you, like full head of bleach.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I want it, I don't want it like that copper. Like I don't.
No, that's red.
Yeah, I want it more like these.
You want it orange.
Yeah, orange.
You want to be
copper.
really copper.
Yeah.
So you need to be very light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So hey everybody, I'm here with Liv today. Liv is my sister. You might have seen that before, and also she's our she's a makeup artist, so she does the makeup for all our gorgeous models. And today she's having another color change, which actually last night I was going through all the different things you've done. I was like, oh my god, seriously. But anyway, so now today we're doing quite a major color change. A couple of weeks, well actually, sorry, last year, Liv's hair, it became a little bit damaged, so she has been letting it grow out, giving it a break. I'm still really, I'm going to be very cautious today. Liv has been doing a little home job here, so I've got a lot to deal with today. She's been doing a little home job on her chunk at the front. But the rest we've just been giving a good break. So she's wanting to go copper today, but still with the heavy blonde at the front. I don't know if you guys are starting to see color blocking over in the UK and the US. Definitely in Australia it's starting to come through. It did a little bit last year as well, but even more now. So it was kind of like the two heavy chunks at the front, but now we're seeing a lot of like color blocking all coming up through underneath. What else are we seeing? Obviously like the one side. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. So anyway, Liv wants like a copper version of that today. So little blonde chunk there and then the rest copper. So I have got a massive job. Let's show everybody what the inspo. So this is our inspo, but we don't want a red copper. We want like an orangey copper, but let's show her. Go up close. So cool. But yeah, I do have a couple of questions actually. Because I can actually still see quite a bit of bleach from here. So how, like, what do you think of the condition of your hair? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you think that we cut out that damage?
Well, the damage was when I had my hair down here.
Yeah, do you think
so? I think we cut the damage out.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and the last time I had bleach was...
How long has it been?
When Claudia did it. That time.
So it's been,
and apart from that,
8 months? Do you reckon?
Oh, you did actually do a high lift tint just on my roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
But apart from that, I haven't had any bleach.
Yeah.
But it did take a bit of a bashing at one time.
I just thought I'd break this down before I get started. As always, I would love to hear how you would tackle this, so feel free to share your ideas in the comments, because I love to hear everyone's different ideas. So anyway, I'm just going to break this down. So Liv's hair, I think she's a level 7 naturally, so we've got about just over an inch of natural hair. It almost looks like maybe like a level 8, a bit of tint build up here in our mids. And then on our ends, some, I don't know, it's almost looking like kind of ashy, just some washed out color through the ends. And then obviously you can see underneath that that's had a lot of lightening history in it there. So kind of tackling 3 different things. My idea today, because I don't ever scalp bleach, I try and avoid it at all costs. It's not something that I enjoy doing. So what I'm going to do is go through with just like back-to-back foils. And at the back I'm going to start, basically what I'm going to do is start with my 10 volt, although I've got to tackle her roots going to lighten faster than there. Oh, that's okay, because I'm going to be putting a semi-colour over all of it anyway, which will blend it nicely, and there's not too much difference between natural and that colour. But if this colour here was a lot darker, I probably would have to do something different on her roots, then something different here and something different on her end, so that would be nuts. I do not enjoy doing 2 different vols in our foil, by the way. I find that really stressful, especially if you have to wrap it up, because you're just putting it, yeah, it's really tricky. So I'm gonna lay them flat, but it's just something I don't enjoy doing, having to do different, like, yeah, levels of lightening in one foil. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is starting at the back, so pretty much this whole back section, I'm going to do my 10 powder lightener and 10 volt, so like around here, and then I'm going to do powder lightener at 1.5%. Always using my, not always, but most of the time using my original mineral ammonia free powder lightener. I'm also going to be putting my Store in my powder lightener, which is something that I don't always do, but here today I'm very cautious, I'm very conscious that Liv did have some, bit of a bad experience a couple of months ago, and I can really see that she's got a lot of light under there, and I want to be really, really careful. Plus I need to get her quite light, so anything I can do to protect the hair, I'm going to do that today, even if that means that it's slow and that we don't get it as light as we want first time. Obviously integrity of the hair is always first. So that's what I'm gonna do through this back section, and then through the front, I'll probably move to my 20 volt, and then my 1.5 still on the end. So yeah, I should get started. Like I said, I'm adding my Store to my powder lightener today. Every 10 grams you add 2 grams of Store. So I've done 50, which means I will add 10 grams of this. I've already mixed it up. So now I'm just gonna add this in and mix it in and protect Livy's hair while I'm lightening today. Fuck, that just spilled everywhere. So that was good. Alrighty, so I've done a lot of sharing before I started here. The main thing that I wanted to point out, and I actually pick it up later and I show you then how I go and correct it, was that my sections were probably just a little bit too big, and what happened is I wasn't spending enough time making sure that I got a good saturation. So it looks like all the hair is covered on the top layer, but underneath it wasn't. And so I kind of figured that out once I got onto the next section. And actually, if I'm really honest, when you're just in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, I should be checking this, but you just keep going anyway because you're just so focused on getting it in. Kind of did that. And yeah, I should have checked it. So what happened was when I decided, no, I need to check this, and I looked, it definitely had done what I thought, which is it hadn't saturated all the way through. How you can avoid this is by like wiping the bleach on the board or on the foil underneath first, or just like spending more time just like moving the hair around, separating it, making sure I've got the bleach through. So luckily I went back and checked that, because otherwise I would have had a lot of like dark patches. So yeah, I mean, now I'm watching it actually, I feel like I'm putting a lot of bleach on. So yeah, it's just one of those things, you've got to be so thorough. Otherwise, you'll see how I'm using the board is so useful for this. Actually, I really enjoyed using it this way. Usually I use it for my balayage, but it was just really helpful for getting in nice and close with that bleach and just like making a pretty messy process really neat. So it's just good for everything really, and I know that a lot of you don't want to get it shipped overseas. I totally get it. Unfortunately, it's the only option we have right now, but maybe one day we can find a better way for you to get boards. I don't know if anyone else has them over there. I really don't know, but anyway, it's just such a great tool to have, useful for everything. And I think later on I really started to doubt my decision to do it this way, but I'm so glad I did, because I put in the hard work, and at the end I finally got a pretty flawless result. So yeah, I was a bit over it, but yeah, really happy with the end. So you'll probably notice that even though I'm doing a process that's completely different to like my normal foiling, I'm still using my same section pattern. And yeah, let me know if you guys have tried this section pattern, because I just feel like it works well for everything. So just following my same theory of just like pivoting around to meet on the top of the crown. And yeah, as you can see, I'm picking up all the hair, just doing quite fine slices, and yeah, just working my way up, still using my 10 volt and my 1.5 on my ends to protect the hair, and my core restore actually. So yeah. I think I made a bit of a rookie error, which is all totally going to be fine, Liv, so don't stress. More on the gentle side than the other way, which is what I wanted today. Didn't want to do anything risky, but I just want to mention that I think when I was going through this first section that we've just showed you, I think my sections were too big. So in my head I was like, I could go a little bit thicker, because I'm not really wanting to get her blonde. If I wanted her blonde, I wouldn't do that. But I think I've already done them a little bit thick. And the other thing I'm just going to show you, because it's really good to see this, and you know I love showing you my mistakes, and obviously I'm going to fix it for the next half, and then I'll have to deal with it at the basin. Or what I will need to do is I'll need to bring the foils off and just milk it through and leave it on for a little bit on these ends, because I don't think I put enough bleach on. So what I should have been doing is laying the bleach out on my foil first, the one that was underneath, and then dropping it on top, and that way it will just get that good saturation underneath too. So I just haven't been thorough enough with my application of the bleach, so it's just kind of going over the top layer and not making sure that I've penetrated that through. Can you see this? Right? So my bleach hasn't penetrated through. Silly. So anyway, I'm gonna go through and fix that by just like adding a little bit extra color where I need to. But yeah, can you see what I should have done is wipe a bit of bleach there, and then that would have just covered me for, you know, some of those areas where it doesn't quite get through. Probably should have done a slightly smaller section as well. So just thought I'd point that out, but otherwise everything's going well. I said last week, same this week. Anytime that I'm, you know, feeling like I need to be a little cautious with the hair, I'm gonna check it every 15 just to make sure everything's going okay. So I'll keep my eye on this, and yeah, just wanted to share that. Now I'm gonna go through and fix this problem. So I've got this all in, and what I'm going to do now, obviously I've got Liv's little blonde what are we calling this? Blocking, color blocking, her blonde color block here. And I really want to be able to get my retouch on so this all processes together. But before I put it on, I'm going to check that everything is okay with the condition, because if it's ready to come off, I will take it off and I will do this separately. So fingers crossed that I can leave it on long enough. I didn't put this on at the start because her regrowth is a mil and it's not going to need very long to lift. So fingers crossed I can pop that on now and get this processing all at the same time. But I'm just going to show you. Let's just check. Just checking condition, checking the color and the condition. So, shit, just lost my trolley, wicked. All right. Okay, so as you can see, everything is going really well. Lightening nice and slowly and gently through here, which is really, it's actually what I want. I wanted it to be slow, I wanted it to be gentle. I didn't want to have to rush to rinse it off. So this hair is super strong still. When you add the Corastor, it just, it really gives the hair so much strength during the lightening, which I love because I'm quite a cautious hairdresser. I'm just going to double check through underneath as well, because some of this hair is probably a little bit more fragile. So yeah, I know you guys say about not doing this without gloves, but yeah, hair feels wicked. I'm going to go ahead and get the blonde colour block retouch on now. I'm just going to use, what am I going to use? Powder lightener. I'm actually going to use 20 volt, just so that I can make sure I get some lift quickly. Okay. Just here to talk to you about my toner. So you're probably wondering why I didn't scalp bleach her roots. But I guess the long-term goal is that we get her to be able to have a tint colour to maintain this, and I'm just really anti-scalp bleach. So my goal is just to lighten the ends and strip out that colour, lift it, and then go back and do a second process. So now my formula is, on the roots I'm using 834, 83 and 20 volt. And on the ends I'm using 843. I'm actually just going to do a straight 843 on the ends, because that will just like fill a little bit. We really don't want that red copper, we really want orange copper, but that's why I go with the 3-4 for the roots. But the ends, because obviously it's going to fill, it's going to soak up all that copper first. That's why I'm going for the 843 on the ends. And in her colour block, I'm using the 9-5 and the apricot. So we just want a really, really soft pastel blonde apricot there. So fingers crossed that I get this right first time. We're just at the basin at the moment, just soaking up some treatment, and I'm going to get this mixed up. So my whole idea with my process today was to not have to do on scalp bleach. And yeah, I've obviously said it a few times, just going over all my decisions, but I am really glad that I did it this way, because I think if I bleached to the roots, I would have that issue of trying to deposit back in so heavily. So my level 8 toner actually lifted and blended perfectly and gave me a beautiful even base to work with. You can see like there's still a little bit of patchiness on Liv's ends, but I wasn't worried about that because I was going for copper, not blonde. So overall, really happy with how the hair lightened up. When I spoke about this step, sort of was hoping that this would be my final step, but really this was a filler. I have to start thinking more like that. And yeah, just using my 9-5 and my apricot here, just to make like a nice peachy little colour block on Liv's fringe, which blended so nicely with the copper. That colour that I just shared before acted as a perfect filler. So you can see it's like a nice golden sort of colour. Really happy with how this came out. Now we are just adding some more copper, more warmth. We want a little bit more depth. We want a lot more copper. So I've been working on this for at least 4 hours, probably 5 hours by the time I finish it, which is awesome. But really, that's kind of what to expect with things like this. And I'm not going to leave it until I'm 100% happy that I've got it right. So formula is actually 6-3-4 on the roots. And my ends is 7-4-3. 643 and 74. So I've gone quite a bit darker. And actually, you know what? I actually think you have to go darker to get the rich warmth. If you really want vibrant and you really want warm, you have to go a little bit darker. At a level 8, it's always going to be pastel. I should have learned that the last time. It's not going to have that really rich colour. I'm just wrapping up. I'm really happy with the result. It's been such a long day though. You could never do this just in a normal like hairdressing appointment in a salon. Well, sorry, you can, but if you were going to, you would need to, I guess, just have the one client at a time, because that took me, I think, yeah, at least 6 hours. So, and I think about 3-4 applications in the end to get it right, but I'm really happy. It's flawless. It's all really even, and the tone is exactly what we were going for, so I'm really happy with that. But basically, I mean, I just need to get used to doing fillers. Like, I've been hairdressing for 15 years, and I'll be honest, I never really use fillers, but I guess I've never really done a lot of this sort of work. I've always kind of gone towards like a blonde or I guess more natural sort of colors. So yeah, my first formula for my all over color was like a filler, and then it needed that second color over the top to pump it with the warmth, because after the hair's been lightened, it's been all bleached, and it's, I guess the cuticle's so swelled that it's hard for it to accept another color. That's how I kind of see it anyway, and it just kind of turns out quite wishy-washy. So yeah, I wonder if you guys think that I've gone the long way around this. Tricky. It's fun though. I didn't want to do the scalp bleach, so lifting the roots with the tint in the second application, that worked really well. And then I had like, we didn't actually show you any footage of that. I wish I did, but we needed to have lunch breaks. So yeah, I didn't really show any footage of the second application, but it lifted the roots perfectly, blended everything, so then I could just go in with my third color, which is so crazy that that was a level 6, so it was a 634 on the roots, which is, you'd think that's dark, but I think I'm finally realizing that warm coppers, they need depth in them, so you need to go to that darker level. So that, to me, the result to me looks like a level 8, but I used a level 6 to get that real like strong, deep copper. So hopefully you learn from all the mistakes that I made. I mean, did I make mistakes today? I don't know. But hopefully you learn something from that process, and you can see I'm a little bit flat. I think when you had a whole day of a process like this, it's super draining, and it can be like, you know, sometimes you get a little bit disappointed at the end. You almost need to go away and then come back, and then you really appreciate it. So when I see Liv tomorrow, I'll be like, that is sick. But right now, I'm just like, duh. Can you relate? That's it.